Hey guys, what's happening? It's me again, Honest Dave, from you today with story time. Now, enough people have requested me to do this story, so I decided I'm going to, do it. People have been asking for a while since I mentioned in one of my videos that the Buck 110 folding hunting knife is what really got me into collecting blades and being really interested in them. And ever since I mentioned that, and I said, if enough people asked for it, I would do the story. Well, here you guys go. Now, if you don't know what the Buck 110 Folding Hunter looks like, this is one of them. Nothing special, it's just like fancy, well, not really fancy, just a classic, USA made folding buck knife. One of the most copied knives, if not the most copied knife design on earth. But let's not jump right into it. Let's start from the beginning. Growing up, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of different pocket knives. Usually when I thought of pocket knives, I thought of stuff like this little old-timer 720 OT, flip joint, which really didn't interest me back in the day. I knew of knives, but the knives I really knew about were stuff like fixed blades I saw on old Schwarzenegger films. Or, old switchblades. I knew about those, and I always wanted one of those, which I've had a couple of them. Yeah, don't ask. Yeah, let's not sidetrack into that story. But yeah. Basically, what I knew about folding knives was old slip joints, which, like I said, really didn't interest me. I thought they were good knives. And as you can see, I've bought my fair share of slip joints. Mainly because, I just like these old classic knives. And I kind of want to be like my grandpa or my dad or my mom. Because every one of them, or pretty much everyone I knew who had knives, they had something like this. Well, except for my dad, but he kind of had a bigger one because, big hands. But yeah, that's why I have knives like these, is because of my grandpa. And, I had a couple. Of course, I didn't start off with slip joints as my first knife. My first knife that I remember was an Imperial Irish-made black lockback knife, which I still have, believe it or not. It's just actually still in the box over there. Maybe I'll show that in a video someday. But, I started off with that, and I did like them, and I kind of got more interested in tactical knives, which, is something I carry, today, more tactical one-handed knives. But I still have a love for these old, knives. But all my knives are like, really cheapo things, not too fancy, kind of weak. They kept breaking. So I decided maybe I'll go back to, maybe I'll go to old-timer knives, like old-fashioned knives. Like some of those you'd see old John Wayne carrying in some of his later movies. So, Christmas, when I was about 14, I guess, maybe 13, I was in school watching some videos. Yeah, I guess I'd be about 13, because that's when I first really started getting the internet, actually able to use Google and all that stuff. And I saw a knife online that I really liked, because I was on the Walmart website, and I saw this. And I just really loved the design about it, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a Buck 110 Hunter. I had no clue what it was called, though, because Walmart listed it as like the black, the brown wooden-handled brass folding knife. So that's why I put that on my wish list. My mom had no clue what I was talking about, so she went to Walmart, she picked me up a knife, and she picks me up this little Winchester lockback. Kind of a cheapo knife, but I was proud as hell. I put it on my hip, and I wore it to dinner. And I wore it to my family. I showed it off to my uncle. I showed it to my grandma. I showed it off to everyone because I was so damn proud of it. And this is what I consider my, cheap buck 110. And, it is a good knife. I like it. And, it's not the best knife on earth, but hey, it did its job and it's still holding up today. A little blade play nowadays and a little dull. But hey, it did its job. But then I was helping my dad clean up from under his bed one time, helping him move some stuff. I don't remember what you're looking for. I think it was the old Nintendo. And he had this little box of stuff down under his bed. Just random stuff. And one of the things I saw under there was a buck 110. Oh, you bet your ass I was interested. I'm looking at it, I open it up. The tip was completely snapped off to about right there. I don't know what he did with it, it was his knife. But I was still interested, and I asked my dad for it, but he didn't want to part with it. It's just fine, it's a knife. And I had no clue how much they cost either, okay, all I knew is it was USA made, wood handles, brass. I thought, oh, it has to be like $100 or something, I can't afford it. Never realizing it wasn't really all that expensive in the first place. But I was walking around a flea market one time, and what do I see on the shelf, on the little stand? I saw this. A buck 110 Pakistani copy. Came in America in the 70s. It was one of the original Pakistani knives. But as you can see, it shares a lot of similarities with the buck 110, except for, size, size and quality and all that stuff. But I didn't even know it was a Pakistani. I thought, oh, it's like a buck 110 mini. Yeah, I was stupid. But I bought it, and I've carried this thing for a long, long time. And, I just kept thinking back, I want a buck 110. I really want a buck 110. That's what got me into this, collection was a buck 110. And one day I found out how cheap they were. I saw them at Walmart when I was with my brother. And, we're looking at them. And I finally realized, I need to make the money. I need to get me a buck 110. So, I started doing anything I could for money, saving up allowance, doing odd jobs around town, whatever I could. Saving up birthday money. And I think that's what finally got it. It was my birthday, and I got, of course, some money for my birthday, most people do. My mom, she takes me to Walmart saying, well, what do you want, what do you want? I just knew exactly what I wanted to. I go to the knife section, she wasn't too fond of my knife collecting, honestly, but hey, whatever. I point that out. I don't remember if it was my mom or my dad, or maybe it was my grandparents. I can't remember exactly who it was. But I'm like, that's what I want. That's the knife I want. Actually, no, I didn't even get... I was 18 when I got this. Yeah, I was 18 when I finally got a buck 110, never mind. I was with my brother and his buddy Josh. And I knew what I wanted. I knew exactly what knife I wanted. So I go in there. I'm looking around the knives. I had enough money for two, so I picked up a buck 110 and a Gerber Ultimate Survival Knife. Bad idea. Don't ever do it. And, yeah. And they kept trying to talk me out of it. They're like, no, don't get that knife. Get something cool. Get this Gerber knife. Get this cool looking Gerber. And against their wishes, I'm like, no. I want the buck 110. It's my money. I'm buying a buck 110. That's what I want. And that's what I did. I bought a buck 110 and I was proud as hell of it. Didn't come with a sheath because some idiot there at the store forgot to put it in the damn box. Yeah, you know you are, bitch. You know who you are, you fucking cunt. I don't know, I finally got a sheath. Actually, no, I do. It was an ex-girlfriend. She had her old buck 110 in her fishing tackle box. Beat the hell. It was one of the originals, and I don't know what they did to it, but they grinded the blade all the way down to there. Terrible shape, wasn't sure at all. Shame, but whatever. She said, well, you can have the knife in the box. I'm like, you can keep the knife, but I want the case. And there was a leather case, which was beat up to hell. So what I did was I actually took a piece of paracord, tied it here and here, here and here, and that was my sheep for a while there. I carried that thing for years and years and years. And eventually, you know, a guy came up to me and said, like, kid, you know, my grandpa really wants a buck 110 and we can't afford to buy him one at full price. Would you be willing to sell it? I didn't want to, but then I finally just cracked down. I'm like, if he really wants it this bad, you can have it. And, you know, that's what I did. And I picked up about maybe 5 buck 110s over the years. I keep having to sell them off or get rid of them for some reason. You know, sometimes to pay rent, sometimes because they're not, you know, they're defective, whatever. But, you know, I just kept buying them. And I loved them. And, you know, I guarantee this is going to be, you know, my last buck one. You know, maybe I'll buy another buck 110, you know, just to have like a beater knife. You know, keep one in the collection that's nice and pretty and just have one that I just, you know, use. And, you know, that's how the buck 110 started me off in my knife collecting. I know it's not a super interesting story, but that's my story. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This has been Honest Dave, signing out.